This story is called Tiny Timmy, Soccer Superstar, and it's book 1. This is part 1. Chapter 1. Is that the best you can do, Tiny Timmy? I got up and rubbed the mud out of my eyes. It sure wasn't easy being the smallest kid trying out for the school soccer team. Hacker called out again. Is that all you got? His pal Studs piped in. Yeah, are you trying out for swimming or soccer? Hacker was big and mean. Studs was small and sneaky. Neither of them was very bright, but they did have a point. I'd been spending a lot of time in the mud. Most of the kids at the tryout were able to push me off the ball easily. My buddy Mike passed me the ball. Me and Mike had been friends for ages, and he was one of the best players on the team last year. This was my first time trying out, and I really wanted to get on the team so I could play with Mike and my other friends. I controlled the ball, looked up and set off on a dribble. This was my last chance to impress Coach Roach, so it needed to be good. I could see Hacker and Studs up ahead. I was sure I'd get past them this time, just like I'd imagine it. I'd run up to Hacker and dink the ball through his legs, then hop over Studs' outstretched leg and bang the ball into the back of the net. Coach Roach would see what I could do and he'd put me in the team for sure. I'd probably be captain. Great tackle, Millie. Clean as a whistle, lass. Coach Roach's loud Scottish voice snapped me out of my daydream. I looked down and the ball was gone. Millie had stolen it off me and raced away. Did I mention there were girls trying out too? Nice one, Tiny Timmy. Save your dribbling for your dream, said Stud. Yeah, dribble the ball, not down your shirt, said Hacker. I didn't feel too worried about what Hacker and Studs had to say. Nobody really worried about what Hacker and Studs had to say, but that didn't stop them from saying lots of stuff. Later, when Coach Roach posted the team for the week's game on the notice board, my name wasn't on it. Well, that's not exactly true. My name was on the sheet next to Orange Boy. If you have a look down here, Orange Boy, Tim. Chapter 2. I went to see Coach Roach. He was moving bottles, cups and cans around on his desk, mapping out formations for the team's first game. He was always thinking about soccer, even when he should have been doing other things, like right now when he was supposed to be teaching maths. Timmy, he said, what can I do for you? Coach Roach, I was just wondering why I didn't make the team. Well, you are on the game day team. Oranges are very important for halftime energy replacement. No, Coach Roach, I said. Are you able to tell me why I didn't make the 11 or even get a place on the bench? Deep down, I already knew the reason why, but then Coach Roach let me know for sure. They don't call you Tiny Timmy for no reason. The other lads and lasses are able to get the ball off you a bit too easily. You're just not big enough right now to play on the team. This was bad news. There was nothing I could do to get taller fast enough to get on the side. A word of advice, lad, Coach Roach said. Practice until you can't practice any more. Work on your game. You may not get any bigger, but you'll definitely get better. Then who knows? It might not matter how big you are. Chapter 3. I took Coach Roach's advice on board. I would practice before school, at school and after school until it was dark. I'd practice all weekend. I'd practice passing in the playground, dribbling in the dining room, and keepy-uppies in the canteen. Mike and I had also decided to do some research. Maybe there actually were ways I could get taller and fast. What did you find out? I asked Mike on the way home from school. I've heard that if you drink lots and lots of milk, your bones get stronger and longer, and before you know it, you've grown 10 or even 20 centimeters. Cool, I said, and gave him a high five. I've read that if you do lots of stretching, you can grow up to 15 centimeters practically overnight. Wow, Mike said. If you try one of those, there's a chance you'll get taller soon enough to get on the team. I shook my head. Even better, I'm going to try both at the same time. That afternoon, I put the plan into action. First, I measured how tall I was and recorded my height on the tiny Timmy to tall Timmy graph. Then I ran to the fridge and poured myself a big glass of milk, then another, and then another. I felt full, but no taller. So I went back to the fridge and took out a new bottle, opened it up, and drank it all down. Time for phase 2. I went out into the backyard and jumped up to grab onto the fence. I bent my knees and hung on, stretching my muscles and bones as far as I could, but I still wasn't feeling any taller. So I hooked my legs over the top of the fence and hung upside down, arms outstretched, reaching for the ground. I still didn't feel taller, but I did feel a rumbling in my tummy. I was starting to regret all that milk I drank, and before I knew it, it all came hurling back out of my mouth. Ew. And then it started coming out of my nose. To make things worse, through the spray of milk, I saw Studs on Hacker's shoulders peering over the fence, taking pictures with his phone. This would not be good. Chapter 4. I was right. School the next day was not much fun. It started as soon as I sat down in class. "Hey, Tiny Timmy, how many Weet-Bix did you have today?" asked Hacker. "He didn't have any," said Studs. "No milk." "Yeah, it's all over his backyard," said Hacker. The kids in class laughed. They must have seen the picture that Studs took. No! Then Mike showed it to me on his phone. "Nobody cares what those guys say, Tim," Millie said. She was another one of my best friends, and a really good midfielder too. "Yeah, I know," I said. It was actually kind of a funny picture. But this wasn't even the worst part of the morning. I had measured myself before school, and I hadn't even grown a millimetre. It had all been for nothing. I'd have to think of another way to get taller and get on the team. Time was ticking, and I was as far from tall as I had been yesterday. I wasn't happy with my flatlining graph, but I still had a few tricks up my sleeve. After lunch, Millie and I were practicing passing the ball to each other. "I can't believe the stretching and all that milk did nothing to make me taller," I said. "It's lucky I've heard of something else that should make me grow. Sleep." "But everyone does that, and not everyone is tall," Mike replied. "True, but I'm going to sleep a lot." "I know something that will help you get to sleep fast," said Mike. "Warm milk." "That's just not funny," I said. Chapter 5. There was no way I'd be able to get to sleep early without being tired, so after school I ran straight out into the backyard, ready to do some dribbling drills. "Hey, Tim!" It was my brother, Shay. "Can I play?" Shay was younger than me, and he wanted to be a soccer player too. He could at least go and get the ball if it went over the back fence, and most importantly, he was smaller than me. So I said, "Sure, we can play a practice match." "And you'll need a goalie, bro." That was my older brother, Kaya. He was goalkeeper on his team and was always keen to get some more practice. He came out and set himself up in goal between the clothesline and the rose bush. "Don't you hurt my roses!" I needed to tire myself out, so I played hard. I dribbled around Shay. I took shots at goal. I missed the target a lot, and Kaya saved nearly everything else, but it was good practice, and in the end I was worn out. "All right," I said. "Good night." "But it's only 4:00, Kaya said. "You can't go to bed yet." I did need rest if my plan was going to work, but he was probably right. It was a little bit early for bed. To fill in some time, I wrote a match report. Match report. The game was fast-paced, but not many goals were scored. Tim showed good speed and his dribbling skills are improving. His shooting was not so good and Shay had to go next door 6 times to get the ball. Kaya did well, only letting in 1 goal when Mum told him to let one in just to be nice. Shots taken, 16. Shots on target, 5. Goals, 1. It was still early, but if I needed lots of sleep to grow taller, I had to go to bed now. Tomorrow was game day for the team, and if I wanted to be something other than Orange Boy, I needed to be tall Timmy sooner rather than later. I went to my room, shut the curtains, tied a sock around my eyes to keep the light out, and went to sleep. Okay, that was part 1.